One of the other questions that we get so often is, what if it all falls apart? What if the market crashes? What if we, see a famine? And it's a difficult subject matter because in reality, that's kind of hard to plan for. You can't invest in the market and make money on the market from the market and plan a retirement and plan that if the market fails. There's no way to do really both of those things. And if that happens, obviously we have much bigger issues than I've just lost my retirement. So you have to kind of stay out of that. I'm not saying it could never happen. That's not my place to say. I'm just saying you can't plan for that. So, how much cash do I have? Well, I always go back to my financial planning roots. We say 3 to 6 months because liquidity is a very high cost of your cash, meaning that right now, liquidity is costing you 8%, which is inflation. So you keeping cash is very expensive. And so we need some of it. 3 to 6 months is good to have because if you have an emergency and an issue, and the 3 to 6 month disparity has to do with whether you're married, your spouse has a job, how likely are you to keep your job, how marketable, and then how comfortable somebody is. But you really can't plan for some of these catastrophic events, and you have to kind of stay out of those weeds and stay invested. That's the thing that you're going to hear us say over and over. Stay invested, keep investing, do your homework, but you have to stay invested. The moment that you pull over and park in cash, you have locked in your losses. And that's very, very difficult to make up because you're doing the opposite of what good investing is, which is buy low and sell high. You bought high and sold low. So you don't want to get your emotion into it. You want to stay focused. And Dr. Crum, you've been through a couple of more markets than I have.
I didn't go through the 1929 market.
No, you didn't.
They called the Big Depression. I didn't make that one. But some of the others I have, and certainly we went through a very severe one in 08 and 09 and 10. Yeah. And during that time, I think that's about a worst case basis, honestly. You got to remember that there's so many ways now that the government has a way to protect us against those types of downfalls. You have to remember back in that day, they didn't have FLIC. They didn't have mortgage companies. They didn't have companies. They didn't have unemployment insurance. All of those things that came out of these recessions and depressions. So as far as famine, transportation is so much better today. And the crops are so much bigger today, as you know, where you used to get 100 bushels of corn, now you get 200 bushels of corn. So these things can be adjusted much more quickly than we can imagine or they used to. But we can't let fear come in, and that's the thing. Remember, watch your cash flow. That's the thing that you have to watch. I've got money coming in. I can't spend it all and invest it all. I must hold on to some of it because living, yes, the prices of goods, including food, can go up. But if it goes up 7, 8, 9, 10%, that's a lot. But we can't absorb it if we anticipate it and prepare for it. So again, not let the fear take over. Let's go forward with good common sense.
That's good sound advice. I appreciate you saying that. And I think that you have to always remind yourself, really it comes back to holding on to our faith and understanding. It doesn't mean that we walk blindly. It means that ultimately we have to put our trust in God. And even investing and doing all that we do, we have to trust that God is in charge and He's going to take care of us. And so don't get into the fear. Don't a lot of the sensationalism that we see on TV is what sells. That's what that keeps the ratings up. And so you can't believe everything that you hear. You have to be very careful. One of the areas that I spend a lot of time and study in that I love very much is behavioral economics. I'm fascinated by what we do and how we do the wrong things. And we all carry biases. One of the biases that we oftentimes talk about and help people understand is when we're looking at our life, we're looking at the world that we live in. It's a small piece of the bigger picture. And so many times, it's called heuristic availability. You recall the most easy recent information, and that's usually the news. And so everything on the news is meant to make me have to depend on the news. It creates an emotion. It elicits an emotion and something from me. And so, the market's crashing. I got to pay attention. We're going to be in famine. There's some wars and rumors of war and all of these things. That's what they're designed to sell. And you have to be careful, because what happens is it creates a bias, and that bias says this is the whole world and all that's going on. They don't report that at the county fair somebody saved somebody from a catastrophic event, that we had a broccoli convention this weekend and 5,000 people lowered their cholesterol. Those aren't things that we're going to hear about on the news. They report fanaticism because that's what sells. And our bias is a heuristic availability, that we can recall that information. And if we're not careful, that can make us do things. When I first started studying this, I used to think, well then I'll fix everybody's bias. I'll help them. You don't get rid of your bias. You become aware of it. And investing, what you do, you overcome that by disciplines. I would like to do this because I'm scared, but I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do. And that's what we try to do, is give you some disciplines and things that you can use that help you to invest wisely.
Invest wisely.
I hope you enjoyed the broadcast today. I hope there are some things that can really help you to get investing or keep investing. That is our desire here. I wanted to make quick mention of helpmeinvest.com. helpmeinvest.com, an organization that we've put together. There's no fees. There's no products to sell you. It is literally designed to help you invest, to become a better investor. So you can go there, set up an appointment for 30 minutes. We'll spend some time with you. We'll go through your portfolio. We'll help you get started wherever you're at. helpmeinvest.com. I hope you'll take advantage of it. I hope that you will continue to send in your questions. They mean a lot to us, because we can talk about a lot of things, but what we really want to do is find out what's important to you, the level of understanding, the questions that you have. So hopefully that we can add value to your investment knowledge, and that you can increase and grow in that, and stay curious and read as much as you can, get as much information. But when you have a question, please feel free to just send that in to us. Send those questions in, because we really do enjoy them, and answering them helps us to make sure that we're being relevant and pertinent to you.